I say to her, like, is there anything that I can do for you? And she, no joke, goes, yeah, there is something you can do for me. You can put your hands up. She's like, what's the password to your phone? I give her the password because it's just my phone. I give her the password to my phone. She goes into voice memos, audio recording, and starts recording herself robbing us.
What's the credit card numbers and what's the PIN?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
You don't know the PIN?
Welcome back to another episode of Clocked Out Conversations. I'm your host, Fahim, and today we got some more TikTok content. Recalling the nightmare, my experience being robbed, kidnapped, and left to grieve. Lord have mercy. Sound like she went through some stuff, now didn't she? Sound like she went through some stuff. I'm not here to waste your time. Like, comment, and subscribe for more, and let's get into it.
My name is Michaela, and if you're watching this, you're about to watch the story time of the time me and my boyfriend, Adam Simji, were robbed, kidnapped at gunpoint, and then how I had to watch my boyfriend be murdered in front of me. So, the following story time was recorded 7 months ago in October of last year, right after the trial, so that everything was fresh in my mind. I only talk about like the crime itself and a little bit like about the day after. I don't go into anything really about like the perpetrators or like the outcome. I'm gonna make a separate video about that because the background story to how everything happened, the context for the coconut tree this fell out of, crazy. So I'm excited to finally have the full story out there so that everyone knows what me and Adam went through, what his last moments were really like. And yeah, I just want to say right now, before the video even begins, thank you guys for caring at all. The support of strangers on the internet as well as my own support system is the only reason I am still here after going through what I've gone through. So thank you for giving me a place where I can speak about what happened to me and keep Adam's name alive. So without further ado, here's the story time. Today I wanted to go into detail about what happened August 14th, 2022 in the middle of Chehaw State Park in Alabama. For context, just for the weeks leading up to, you know, his death, Adam had gotten a van from his dad. We loved that because we road tripped a lot. One of our biggest like bonding activities was we were like always in the car together, going to new places and looking at whatever, anything in these little tiny areas, traveling, hiking. We loved it. That week, that day, we were planning to go to Arkansas to go to little Eureka Springs, which is just a little town that has like some cute Victorian houses and stuff. That's really it. Like we just wanted to go because there was Victorian houses. We were due to start classes at UCF, so not because it happened on a Sunday, so not the day after it happened, but a week later, that Monday, we were supposed to start classes. That would have been the first time that we ever went to school together, just because I graduated from UF while he was still at UCF, and then I got accepted into the UCF counseling program. And so finally, since we had started dating when I was in high school, we were finally gonna be at the same school together. And we never got there. So August 13th, the day before everything, we left, went up to Gainesville, said hi to our friends, whatever. And so while we were on our way up to Gainesville, my mom texted me and said, be safe. Last time a Florida girl and her boyfriend went on a road trip, he came back without her. And I said, we'll be fine. Adam has his gun.
Dang. So the mother recalled a situation similar to the one that she's in now, where a boyfriend and a girlfriend went on a road trip and the boyfriend came back without the girlfriend. That's crazy. That is insane.
And then we drove up to Atlanta, went west, and then stayed the night in the Alabama Welcome Center right inside the state lines. I woke up the next morning. First, I was driving that morning, and I was one that put Chehaw on a list of things to do because, like, when you look up what to do in Alabama, it's like one of the only things that come up. I was driving, Adam was still like sleepy, and while I was on the interstate, the gas gauge was like being weird. It was like all over the place. My dad's a mechanic, and that's foreshadowing for later. I called him and I was like, the gas gauge is being weird. Do you know why? What do I do? And he was like, you know, go to O'Reilly's and get fuel injector something. Sorry, Dad, I don't know what it was called. The gas gauge was completely normal after that. It must have worked. So I thought. And then, so we get to Chiha, which is like a 20-minute drive up this mountain. And I didn't realize how far we were going into the middle of nowhere when we were beginning it, but then I would soon find out later how remote of an area we were in. So we get into the park. I'm still driving. We go to this lookout called Bald Rock Outlook or Lookout. It was really beautiful. Those are the pictures that are all over the news of like me in my red shirt, him in his green shirt. Adam was the one, he hated taking pictures, and Adam was the one that was like, oh, we should ask her to take a picture of us. And I was like, in our entire 4 years plus some together, he had never asked anybody to take a picture of us before. So I was like, oh my god. And then they would end up being like cursed images that are all over the news because they're like the last ones of us together. So grateful that I have them though. Oh, and also next to the store, I'll insert a picture of this too. Next to the store, there's a little gas pump, and it's just so like, I don't know, I don't want to say it's so retro, but like it is, like it's an old gas pump that's like in the middle of nowhere in this state park. It was so cool. I took a picture of it. And so anyways, we were driving and we decided to go to the lake that's there, and you know, we pull in, and then all of a sudden the gas gauge drops to empty, like to empty. And I knew that we were like kind of close pushing it, but like we were not on empty, and I was scared that we were going to be stuck in the middle of the woods. And so I said to him, do we stop at the lake or do we just go back and get gas? Like, should I even turn the car off? And he's like, we should probably go get gas. So I was like, good idea. Turn around, didn't even park at the lake, literally just drove in and drove out. We asked the like gate attendant, does the gas pump up there work? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, okay, there we go. I don't even turn onto the road yet. And then all of a sudden, the gas gauge that was on empty is like, oh, you have half a tank left. And so I said to him, are we still gonna go get gas, or do you just wanna find a waterfall? He's like, let's just find a waterfall. And I said, the universe must not want us to go to the lake today. I said those words. So then we mapped it to Devil's Den waterfall. You know, follow the map. It takes us down like a desolate.
I don't know about you all, but I will not be visiting any waterfall known as the Devil's Den. Not I.
Road. This road is 600-3, Forest Road 600-3. Just because it's in court documents and stuff, I just know the formal name. So we are driving down this dirt road. It's not like a full dirt road. It's a gravel road. Driving this gravel road, and you know, the map, I was like, huh, weird, we're like in the middle of nowhere. But anyways, we're driving, and then there's a woman on my left. She's waving her arms, and I drive past her, and then I slam on the brakes, and I'm like, oh. And Adam was like looking at her like, you know, to be like, well, what does she want? And so I put it in reverse, get there, roll the window down, and she's like, do you guys have jumper cables? My car needs a jump. And I was like, nope, sorry. And Adam goes, yeah, we do, right here. And he had literally charged them the night before, because it was like, oh, we might need to charge our phones while the van is off and whatever. Like, I had never seen this thing in my life, and he just happened to have it for this road trip. But I told her, no, we do not have jumper cables. And he goes, yeah, we do, right here. And I was like, and she goes, oh, well, like, will you follow me down this dirt path? Like, my car's back there. And Adam was like, yeah, we'll help.
It just had to be a sister, boy. Boy, why I have to be a sister? But you're crazy. You followed that mug down a dirt road? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I guarantee you she never give nobody no jumper cables again. Oh no. Talk about some, can you follow me down a dirt road to come and jump my car? I could have told y'all that. Hell no. Hell no. They follow you down no damn dirt road.
I was scared because it's suspicious. It's weird. But Adam's a very caring person who has helped many, many people on the side of the road. So I start following her down the dirt road, and Adam literally like throws himself into the back of the van, and grabs his gun and puts it in his waistband and says, "This is how people get robbed, so just in case." And I was like, okay. So I found out later that we followed her an entire, like, the length of a football field into the woods to this campsite. And so I get there, park the car, get out, get to this purple Scion with the hood up, and Adam starts doing whatever, trying to jump it. I'm not really paying too much attention because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be jumped, we're just gonna be out, it's gonna take 5 minutes. And then, nothing, and he's like, oh, it's not a jump, it's not the battery, it's something else. Puts the hood down, gets in the driver's seat of the car, and the top or the bottom panel was already gone. Because I would later learn that someone vandalized the car, tried to hotwire it, which was the reason that the car was not drivable, because someone tried to hotwire it. But the steering wheel, like, was locked, so we thought it was, like, the ignition lock. I call my dad, and I tell him, like, hey, we're helping this girl,
So it reads, we definitely tried to turn it, hold the wheel in the center of the 2 block positions, and try to turn the key off and on with a little more force. Nothing. Yeah, they were finessing.
Her steering wheel's locked, it's not the jumper cables, it's not the battery.
Says, we definitely tried to turn it, hold the wheel in the center of the 2 block position. Okay, that's what we just read. He sent the YouTube video. Play at 2 times speed. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Little does the father know that they're about to get robbed.
The ignition, the key just won't turn. And he's like, oh, well, is it making, like, the beeping noise? Like, there's, like, oh, ding, ding. And I don't remember, I said something, yes or no, whatever. And he was like, okay, well, if it's not working, like, that might not be the key to that car, or there might be a second key that's working. And that was him basically saying, like, that's a little suspicious, so get out of there whenever you can. Like, I can't help you as a mechanic, which he's a great phone mechanic. Like, he can fix cars over the phone. So him not having any, like, input was like, oof. This car is junked, it's inoperable, like, there's no way for us to fix it. And so, Adam's still messing around with it. Finally, we give up. And I say to her, like, so if the car is here, she's sitting in the driver's seat, like, with her feet on the ground facing us. So not, like, facing the steering wheel, but, like, facing us. And I'm sitting there, I don't know, 15 feet away from her, standing. And I say to her, like, is there anything that I can do for you? Can I, like, go tell a park ranger? Can I get you water? Like, can I call somebody? Like,
You all are much better than me. There is no way that I'm following somebody down a dirt road, and let's say hypothetically I tried to help them, and I'm on the phone with my father, and he tells me, yeah, my dad wouldn't even, my dad would be looking like, what the hell you follow somebody down a dirt road for? But he gives me advice that indicates to me that they are being suspicious and they may be criminals. I'm hightailing my ass up out of there. You're insane.
is there anything else that I can do for you? And she, no joke, goes, yeah, there is something you can do for me. You can put your hands up. Like, what was it, scripted? I don't know why it was, whatever. So she has the gun on us, and, she's telling us, like, turn around, put your hands up, walk into the woods. So we're walking into the woods, and this is, like, where the kidnapping charge comes in, because we were taken to a second location and being held against our will. So that's what kidnapping is, legally the definition. And so this whole time that my hands are up, like, I can't even explain to you, like, what was going through my mind, really. I was shaking so bad, my whole body was hot. I was aware of things in a way that I didn't know was, like, possible. It felt like an out-of-body experience. And I just knew, like, at some point Adam has, like, we're not gonna die. I knew we're not gonna die. Adam has his gun. If we lose our stuff, whatever. But I was just trusting that Adam would pull out his gun at an appropriate time, we'd be good. So she says, put your phone down. actually the phone that I'm recording on, same one. Put your phone down, put the keys down, keep walking. Empty your pockets, keep walking. And Adam was like, everything is in the van. Like, he didn't have his phone or his wallet on him. I was the only one. I had my phone and the keys to the van on me. I was the only one that had anything on me. And he was like, everything we have is in the van. Just take the van, go, phone, wallet, just take it and go. And then she would just be like, keep walking. So we keep walking, and then we get to this log that's like blocking our path to go any further. And I'll put a picture of that here, I guess. She has her gun on us the whole time. She's like, what's the password to your phone? I give her the password because it's just my phone. I give her the password to my phone. She goes into voice memos, audio recording, and starts recording herself robbing us.
What's the credit card numbers and what's the PIN?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
You don't know the PIN?
I know
Well, she just got hers. Mine is 37. It's the green card in my wallet.
What's your PIN?
She just got her card. She doesn't know.
I think it's like 0511.
Okay. To that, your banking accounts on your phones.
I don't know. It has my Face ID.
Yours?
It should be. You want me to spell it out? Can you remember it?
Yep.
A.
But I could tell she didn't know what she was doing because, like, it's my.
Sister recorded herself robbing? Why? What? Just thinking in the mind of a criminal. Sister, why would you record yourself? Are you insane? Why would you do that? I'm confused as to why a criminal would want to do something like that, but come on now, sister. Come on. That's crazy.
Face to get in, you're recording the password to my phone on my phone. So if you hit that lock button, if it automatically locks, you lost the password. My phone is useless. You can't get to my banks. Like, nothing made sense. And so she gets like all that information, and she still has her gun on us, and she like lowers her guard for a second and like puts the gun like at like an angle and goes, I'm just playing. And then Adam pulls his gun, so like we're both against this log. She's here. When she said I'm just playing, Adam pulled his gun and went here, and so he like triangulated himself, took himself away from me, and told her like, drop your gun and get on the fucking ground. And she was like, are you serious? Like, news articles have been saying like, oh, and then she said, are you serious? It wasn't like a like malicious like, are you serious? Boom boom. It was like, are you being for real? Like, she thought she was gonna die. And then he like got for real serious, and then he said, drop your gun and get on the fucking ground. Like stern, and it scared me the way he said it. And so then, you know, she's like, oh shit, I might die. Starts like messing with the gun. I thought that it had jammed, but after learning stuff in the trial, like she had only shot a gun 2 times in her life before that, when she was like young on a family farm, whatever. So like she didn't know how a gun worked. So she was trying to get it to work, trying to cock it. So then Adam starts shooting. And once I start shooting, like I run over to him and I'm yelling at both of them, stop, 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 stop. Like while they were shooting, no one had been shot yet. I'm just yelling, stop, 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 stop.
Woman, are you crazy? Are you insane? You screamed. Hold on, wait. So let's establish the fact they already started firing at this point, right, guys? They already started firing at this point. And you're running, telling your man to stop firing at the person who is kidnapping, robbing, and could potentially knock you off? And you're screaming, stop? Hell no. Hell no. You getting... No. At this point, the man is doing what he's supposed to do. Sister, I'm all for my people, but sister, you can't be out here just robbing people like that. If any other man was in a situation like this, the correct thing to do would be to defend himself and to defend the girlfriend. And she out here yelling, stop. You mess around and put yourself in harm's way, even more so getting in the middle of a firefight screaming, stop.
but they're both, scared, and I could tell. And then Adam's like, I'm shot. He falls to the ground. I think she was still standing at this point, but like he's like sitting on the ground.
Another thing, in this situation, I swear to God, as soon as I got the upper hand, like her boyfriend did initially, I'm not telling you to get on the ground. I'm gonna put you on the ground with this firearm. That's it. You already made the choice to, you already made the choice to sit here and play around and hold a gun to me and my girlfriend. No. I'm taking your life right then and there, and that's just gonna be that. You shouldn't have been trying me. We can handle everything else in court, but right now I'm in the middle of some woods trying to help you with some car, and you putting me and my woman in harm's way. You out of your goddamn mind.
I'm shot. Shoots her one last time. Like they're like, according to the trial and the shell casings found at the scene, he shot 9 times. She shot once. She actually only fired 1 bullet. He's like, I'm shot. He's like, ow, groaning and stuff. I'm pretty sure Hyder, Yasmin, whatever, she told me to call 911, and so like I got up, ran. She dropped my phone when all this was happening. Right before I get on the phone with 911, like my phone's in my hand and I'm like pressing the buttons. She grabs the gun. She's sitting crisscross on the ground and has the gun, and she's like, I can't live with this. I can't. She said, I can't go to jail, and put the gun up to her head. And the 911 call starts with me screaming at her, no, put it down, do not put the gun down and move away. Don't shoot, don't. Like, I was screaming, begging her not to shoot herself in front of me. And also just shoot herself, period. Like, it wasn't that like, oh, I didn't want to see her die. It was just like, I don't want a person, period, to shoot themselves in the head ever. And I also don't want that to happen in front of me right now. Like, so anyways, she didn't know what she was doing, cocked it, whatever, couldn't pull the trigger, puts it down, and I tell her, like, move away from the gun. And so she like scoots, and I'm like, move away from the gun. Now she ends up against the log because Adam and I are, so in this picture, like, we are like pretty much right where I'm standing, kind of like on the other side of that tree on the ground, and she is up against the log sitting, and I'm on the phone with 911. She's asking like, where is the person who shot him? And she's standing right there, and the gun is like 3 feet in front of her, 4 feet in front of her. And I didn't want to be like, she's right here and she's wearing this, and this, and then her be like, okay, boom, like, shot you now because I'm not going to go to jail. But she was like, please let me go into the woods, please let me run. And so I was muting 911 here and there, like pressing the mute button to talk to her because I didn't want them to know that she was here. And I was like, go run into the woods. And she was like, we have a 5-year-old, like, we just needed food and water. And I was like, we had food and water, we have a cooler, we had a case of water, like, you could have had whatever you wanted if you just asked. And she was like, I can't, like, please let me run, please let me go, I can't go to jail. And I was like, go run into the woods, go, because like,
You're going to jail now. Ain't no way. You just sit here. If I were a woman, I don't even gotta be that. I'm a man. You shoot my girlfriend. If I was in this situation, I don't give a damn about you getting talk about go run in the woods. I understand because she is sitting right there, and you don't want her to act erratically if you tell the police with her overhearing that she is still in my presence. So I understand. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, this woman right here has way too much sympathy. Way too much sympathy. Way too much sympathy. You just shot, if I were her, you just shot my boyfriend? What? Are you crazy? And then you sit up here expecting me to have sympathy? Nah, man. Nah, bro. And if you really needed some food and some water, like she said, you could have just asked. There are polite people all around the world. You could literally just ask somebody, can you give me some food or some water? somebody would have given it just like them. Given that they were willing to go into the woods and travel the length of a football field to try to help you, I'm certain that giving you some food and water is nothing to them. But now you're going to jail.
I didn't care if she did get caught. I did assume like the cops are coming, they're gonna find her, but like I didn't even care at that point. It was just one less thing to worry about. If you are gone out of my sight and all I have is Adam in front of me, that's fine. But she gets up to run and she screams and says, "My leg is broken." When Adam was on the ground and shot her one last time, he shattered her femur. So she literally could not run away. So then she pulls up her shirt and I can see the 3 bullet holes in her. And she's like, "Ow." And that's it. All she said to being shot 3 times in the stomach was, "Ow." So anyways, Adam's last words were like, "I'm shot." After that, he wasn't responding. My mom listened to the whole 911 call, so she was telling me like what happened, what I was saying. And I was like, say anything, say the word no, say something, like blink if you're like conscious. But pretty much after that, like maybe he was conscious for like 5 minutes, no, like 2-3 minutes, and then it was just groaning. And it's actually called like the death groan, where you're just like and that's it for like that was it. That's all the noise he could make. He wasn't moving anymore, he wasn't doing anything. Hyder told me to take his belt off and like use it as a tourniquet, but like he wasn't even bleeding that much. He got shot on his lower abdomen and then it came out like at the very end of his spine, like right above his butt crack. Like, so he was bleeding the most from his back, but if I wanted to do CPR, he had to be on his back. So it was it was a mess. But anyways, I'm on the phone with 911, asking where they are, like screaming into the woods, "Help, help." No response, obviously. And then Hyder yells into the...
I was also going to say, the sister said we just needed food and water. Who is we? So were there other parties involved? Were there other parties involved? You know, was there a daughter or a husband somewhere or something?
woods. "Amani, Crystal, they shot me. Help me." And now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I have never shot a gun in my life, just like BB guns. I've never shot a gun in my life, but both of their guns are sitting right here in front of me. I'm gonna have to grab one of them and I'm gonna have to shoot somebody that comes out of the woods. I don't know how, don't know what I'm gonna do, but someone's gonna come out of those woods and I'm gonna have to shoot them. So then this other like skinnier black woman comes out of the woods, and so she's like circling us. So she's behind the log, like I don't know how many feet, I couldn't tell you, it's been too long, but like I would say maybe like 4 feet back from the log, like further away from me. And she's like circling like this, and Hyder's like, "They shot me, like I need help, they shot me." And she was like, "What do you want me to do?" And she was like, "They shot me, I don't know." And Pinkins, so Crystal Pinkins, the one that's circling, that was sitting in the woods apparently this entire time, the entire time sitting there in the woods, says like, "I don't have anything on me, what do you want me to do?" And then she like gets further to make sure that she's like not enough in my eyesight, and then she like runs off towards the trail, towards the road, and just runs away. And so I didn't have to, you know, get a gun, but like when she said, "I don't have anything on me," I literally imagined right then and there a shotgun. She didn't have anything to like shoot us in revenge. Yeah. In the trial, they tried to make it seem like she was asking for medical help. She was asking for the danger posed to her to be eliminated. So I know the context that she was saying that was like, how can you hurt them to help me? Not like, how can you treat my wounds? So then she runs away. I'm on the phone with 911 still. I don't remember exactly like when. I was on the phone with 911 for 30.
Hey, so I just realized, so the other sister that came and was circling, sorry guys, I got allergies, got my nose feeling all types of ways. So the other sister that was circling, she ran away. She left her homegirl on the ground like that. Dang.
The call dropped after 15 minutes. I had to call back. I also don't remember how long I was doing CPR for. All of this would be refreshed if I listened to the 911 call, but I do not want to hear myself scream and hear Adam groaning in the background, and I don't want to hear it. So, I start doing CPR at some point, like, I think it was like somewhere between 5 to 15 minutes before the paramedics got there. And I was like, where are you guys? Where are you? And they're like, we're coming. We're in the middle of the woods. Like, we are coming. They have your location, which it's insane that they really even found us, because like, it's not like a trail. It's just a dirt road, woods. And there happens to be a place where a car can fit to go this way. It wasn't like, another dirt road where there's no trees. Like, it was all overgrown. The trees were everywhere. The trail went like this. So you couldn't tell that it was like a straight shot back into a campsite or to anything. So, and we were a football yard deep into those woods. So I don't know how like they got to us, and actually pretty quickly, 30 minutes for how like secluded of an area we were in.
This is also why it's very important to know some kind of CPR, some kind of medical procedure, anything like that. Just because a situation like this, when police are called, ambulances are called and whatnot, it takes them a while to get there. Don't let you be black. But it takes them a while to get there. In this situation, they're in the woods. Something happens to you, you end up getting shot, and now you bleeding out for 30 minutes. Ain't no way in hell you gonna survive. You understand? And, you can't be perfect. You're not going to know everything, but situations in life do happen. And so you want to be prepared if anything does happen in any way that you can be.
But Hyder tells me at some point, like, take your shirt off to stop the bleeding. So now I'm sitting there in my bra, holding my shirt, which was thankfully blood colored, to Adam, doing CPR, like, telling him I love him, telling him to stay with me. But then I swear there was this moment, like, I could hear the sirens coming, like maybe like 3 minutes before they actually got there. That like, I felt his soul leave his body. Like, I could tell that the person, like the Adam, the physical Adam that I know and love right in front of me, is just an empty vessel now. Like, I remember actually like looking up at the trees, and it was like I could see his soul going up. Okay. I've told this story so many times that I've like gotten rid of the emotion that, I've just desensitized myself to it, so I didn't think I was gonna cry. Okay. I just want to get this over with and say it so everybody knows what happened. So then the paramedics get there. Okay, give me a second. So then the paramedics get there, and they're like volunteer firefighters. Like, it's not like a real like EMT team. And I'm like screaming at them, like, run, hurry up. Like, they're like getting out of their cars, shutting the doors, like, oops.
Bruh, see, this is another. I hate putting. Sometimes, again, situations happen, but this is why it's good. This is separate, of course. This is a situation that, obviously they weren't prepared for. This is something that, it's just a criminal. Sister was out here, doing what they do, and they end up being the victim of it. But this is why you don't put your life in other people's hands, bro. Like, even when it comes to health and wellness, don't put your life in other people's hands, because they'll take their time. they'll be out here dibbling and dabbling. Mug sitting there lightly closing the door. Your boyfriend bleeding out on the ground. Criminals out there running away. And these little volunteer EMT. First off, volunteer EMT is crazy. I would be pissed. Y'all bring volunteer EMTs to my bleeding out girlfriend. But she not worth a real EMT. But yeah, and so nah, you put your life in other people's hands, they gonna dilly dally. I guarantee you, if it was their relative, they wouldn't have been sitting there closing no door lightly. Guarantee that.
I forgot something, opening the door, shutting the door, walking around, looking around, and I'm like, run! Like, what are you doing? Come here, come here. They get there, they're not even like immediately going to Adam, like they're just like staring dumbfounded at the situation. And I know I didn't ever tell them like, oh, she's right here, she's standing right here, whatever, but the paramedics like stopped at like this tree line pretty much and like wouldn't come further, and then the cops come up behind them, and I see this cop's got a like AR on his chest. And so my mom watched the body cam footage. She said, I literally went, that's her, she shot him. Like, that's her, she shot him, because I saw that man had an AR. I was good. Snitching wasn't gonna be like, oh, you bitch. She's not gonna run for her gun. If she does, she's dead immediately. Like, she's not gonna get anywhere. Suicide by cop would be her trying to do anything at that point. So then, they go to her. They're sitting there with Adam. I'm standing there yelling, screaming at them, do something, do something, do something, until finally, after like, it felt like 3 whole minutes of me sitting there while they were like moving in slow motion, getting to her, getting to him. I feel like I've been sitting there for a full like 2-3 minutes before someone comes up and goes, why don't we walk this way? And like, thank God, because I was never gonna come up with that myself. Like, I was gonna sit there the whole time. And like, so I walk away, and I actually took a picture of my hand, which had like dry blood on it, and I posted it to my private story on Snapchat, which is like my closest friends. And I read afterwards that like sharing about a traumatic event right after it happens makes it less traumatic, because you get it out immediately, and it's like, this is what happened to me, instead of being like, oh, this is my fault, or I don't know how I feel about it, I don't know what happened to me. Like, I said, Adam shot, I think he's dead. Someone knows now, because I was in the middle of the woods. No one had any idea what was happening to me, and my life, the other half of me was literally laying there dying. Part of me is dying too, right here, right now. So I post it, I like open the van doors up, and I just lay there on like where I had slept the night before, like the sleeping bags, the pillows and everything. I just lay there and look out at the trees and stuff. And that's when they come over to me and they tell me like, he's passed, there's nothing more we can do. And I didn't cry. I didn't cry until after I left the scene. I sat there and I was just like I was in shock completely. And that's why I'm glad I posted on my private story, because all my friends started calling me and they were like, Michaela, what happened? Are you okay? I love you so much. Like, I was like, I'm going to take all my medicine. I want to kill myself so I can be with Adam. And I asked him the day before, so while we were driving up on August 13th, we hadn't even left the neighborhood yet, and I was like, what do you expect me to do if you die? Like, what do you, not like, oh, you're gonna cheat on me, you're gonna leave me. Like, no, there was no way we were ever going to separate unless he died. And I was always scared of him dying specifically. And he was like, I thought you said that you would die too. And I was like, I would. Is that what you want me to do? And he was like, I want you to take care of the kids. And that was it. Sitting there in that van, I was like, I literally, I think, watched his soul go up, and now I'm sitting here not gonna die too. So that's when my friends were like, don't do anything, we love you, you're gonna be okay. I'm already gonna see, like, as soon as you are back, I want to see you, and I have this for you, and I have that for you. Like, I was never not on the phone, because, then I'm talking to my mom, and she's like, oh my god, I'm leaving work, and I'm coming to get you right now. Calling my dad, like, everybody's calling me. My like, they're all constantly, I hang up, immediately on a phone call. Hang up, on a phone call. And I'm talking like...
It's good she has that support system. There's a lot of people get in a situation like this, they don't know who the hell to call. And some people so accustomed to violence. Somebody get shot, they be like, "Hey, just another day in a life." For real.
This the whole time, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, what happened? Adam shot. He died." Like, no emotion, nothing, just complete shock. The paramedics, they were just like, "So when this happened, then this happened, or like, or what?" I was like, "Yeah, or no." And then they would just leave me alone in the van. Like, nobody sat and stayed with me or secured me. Like, I was just alone. So I'm really glad that I constantly had someone on the phone with me, or else I would have taken all of those pills. But I was distracted enough, always answering a phone call, that like I was never like, I'm not gonna answer this one, I'm gonna take them. It was just like I got caught up in the motions, and that became not something that I was able to do at the time, which is good, right? Except for the trolls that are like, "Oh, she's still living, so she must not have loved him enough." That's all I have to say about that.
Bruh. What the what is the internet, bro? The internet can't be a real place. Who said that, bruh? Buddy is crazy.
Um, so yeah, then I'm sitting there in the van, still looking out, and I can see his body covered in a blue sheet while she's being like put on a stretcher and being flown to Birmingham to go to the hospital. So yeah, I sat there for like 2 hours on the scene while everyone was doing investigative stuff, whatever. And then finally, like, I was like, when can I leave? Like, when can I not just sit here? And literally looking out at the van, his body was like right there. So there was no way for me to just be like, oh, I just won't look. Like, that was in my line of eyesight directly. So then this angel named Shannon comes to the crime scene. And she's like, hey, I'm gonna take you back to the station. And so I grab like just a few things. I grabbed like my phone, just like a couple. I grabbed my phone, his phone, and something else. Like, that's all I could think to grab immediately. Like, we're going to the police station. And we start driving, and like we get out of 600-3, turn right, and then there's a sign that says Adam's Gap. He died right next to a trail called Adam's Gap. Sign? I don't know. It's just crazy.
And if I recall correctly, so his name is Adam. Very poetic, to say the least. Very poetic.
And then we start driving to the city where I'm going to give my statement and whatever while they finish the investigation. And the drive was taking like at like minute 15. I was like, okay, I see why it took you guys so long to get here. Like, at first I was like, y'all are driving slow, nobody cares, but we were really in the middle of nowhere. There was no way to get to us faster. And so she's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to school? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a therapist. And then she starts crying, and then she's like, you know, it's okay, you can cry too, right? And then I was just like she was feeling so deeply for me, and then I was just still so in shock that like I couldn't even whatever. And so like she keeps talking to me, like she was telling me stories, she was asking things about my life. I'm into astrology, and somehow on that drive to the police station I got to tell her like, oh, I'm an Aries and Adam was a Taurus. And then I learned that her husband is also an Aries. Like, we literally, like, it was very comforting. It was what I needed at that moment. She told me the story about how exactly a week before, she went out to her truck and there was a bat in the back seat, and she like freaked out, ran inside to go grab something to go get the bat, and then the bat was gone. And I was like, it's me. I'm your bat. She saved me. And then she starts bawling her eyes out. So then I start bawling my eyes out, because it's like, it really felt like significant in the moment. Like, she had this hurt bat who got into her.
Me and Shannon with our bat tattoos. Oh wow. She got hers after our encounter. Oh wow. And so I wonder, is she's the one that said I'm gonna take it back to the station. It's a police officer. Okay. They kind of look. Or maybe I'm just tweaking. But yeah, no, it's great to have that, the fact that there was an officer on the scene that had that much empathy. That's actually an amazing, officer to do something like that. Yeah, that's a great show of, you know, just being a good officer. I mean, comforting somebody when it seemed like nobody else was doing their job correctly. But yeah.
Truck and then just disappeared. And then this little hurt bat, got into her truck and she took care of me that whole, like, while I was waiting for someone to come pick me up in Alabama. Like, I'm from Orlando, Florida. That was an 8-hour drive away. So I knew that I was gonna have to be like waiting for someone to get me. And she stayed and sat with me the whole time. It was her day off, actually. So she got called in. Like, I'm lucky that it was her day off, or else she would have been somewhere else. I'm just glad she was in the area. My computer, Adam's computer, my antipsychotics, like my camera, all of my stuff is in the van. And, I'm like, when can I get it? What can I do? And, she's on the phone and she's like, they're saying you can't get anything out of your van because it did have to like go somewhere to be searched and whatever, just to make sure it wasn't like a drug deal gone wrong or something. And so they were like, you're not technically next of kin or anything. You can't go back to it. It's evidence. And I was like, if I don't get my medicine, I will kill myself. Because yeah, I was gonna take all of them to kill myself, but also if I can't have them, no. An antipsychotic, I immediately went into psychosis at that moment. Like, I didn't know what was real and what was not. I needed them way more at that moment than I ever had before. And so, like, she was like, okay, hold on. Walked away, and I hear her, like, yelling on the phone, like, she needs her things out of that van. She needs this. She won't be okay if whatever. And then she's like, okay, thank you. And she's like, okay, they said we can go get your stuff. So I love her so much for fighting for me for that. And so we drive back to the scene and I get all my stuff, basically all the stuff that I can like fit into like just a small bag, because I obviously couldn't fit the entire van with me, and just me personally, while I went from car to car until I got back to Orlando. So I took like my computer, his computer, my medicine, camera. That's what I got. And then as we like go to leave, I see like there's a big commotion happening outside the crime scene. And she's like, does the name Crystal sound familiar to you? Is that the one that she was yelling? And I was like, yes. And they were like, they just found her with a tracking dog. And so like I wasn't there for much of that. I was just there to get my stuff, identify, be like, yeah, that was her. And then continue on back to the police station for someone to pick me up. And it wasn't until later in a press release that apparently like when the tracking dog led them there, and these officers were coming up, they were greeted by the 5-year-old son that earlier Hyder had been like, we have a 5-year-old. Said 5-year-old, Pinkins' son actually, said 5-year-old was sitting there with a shotgun aimed at the police officers. And so they have their guns on him and they're like, put the shotgun down. The kid is not listening and just goes and gives it to Pinkins. And then he's like, okay, I'll stop.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So the sisters gave the shotgun to the little brother, to the little boy. Okay. Y'all moving militant. Okay.
So when they found her via tracking dog, they were met with a 5-year-old holding a shotgun at them. Another insane twist to it all. But, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much like what happened right then and there that entire day. And then I went to Atlanta to some family before my mom could get me to then go down back to Orlando. So the next day, I'll just go really quickly into like how I know Adam's not like fully gone from me. The next day, my mom was driving me to Orlando. We stayed the night in a hotel in Georgia because it was late at that point. And she steps out to get gas. And as soon as she shuts the door, she opens it back up and goes, "I think this is for you," and hands me a feather. She said it was sitting here circling. And then me and my sister start bawling our eyes out because earlier, like that year, so like 2 months before, Adam got lost in the woods for 8 hours. And the way that he got out was by climbing to the top of the tree, seeing a feather in that tree, going over to that tree, grabbing that feather, seeing a feather over there. And that's how he was like, and that's the way out, was just by following feathers through the woods. Ever since then, feathers have been my sign. I know that every time that I see a feather, it's Adam. Physically, he's not here, which sucks, but I have this really big peep that I like to cuddle and spray his cologne on. But yeah, I know that he's not like fully gone from me. I talk to him all the time. I see signs from him all the time, like all the time. So yeah, I think that's everything that I have to say like about that one day, and like the actual crime itself and what happened, my experience in those woods, Adam's last moments, all of that. Other than that, there's, you know, all of the information on the actual trial, and then everything that I learned about their backgrounds in the trial. So that'll be like a separate story time. You know, if there are questions, I'd love to answer. I just want to make sure that everything is cleared up and that everyone has access to like what actually happened, because I've seen a lot of articles almost get it and then miss it. Throughout this entire last year, I have received so many messages and comments of people being like, "You're so strong, you're gonna get through this." Those comments like actually make a huge difference, and I believe I'm spiritual. I believe that like I'm literally feeling the energy of it too. When people are like, "I'm sending you love," I swear I can feel it. It takes weight off of my shoulders because I know that I'm not bearing the worst day of my life alone. There are people who know what I've gone through. I'm just grateful that it's not my burden to bear on my own, and that there are people who care and take the time to write me kind messages and stuff. So yeah, that is everything from start to finish for August 14th, 2022.
Okay, so that was a crazy story time. That was a crazy story time. So they went into the woods foolishly and got stuck up, and her boyfriend Adam ended up getting knocked off. Yeah, I mean, I do think that it's a shame, you know, that had to happen. But I mean, frankly, man, I mean, hopefully, you know, she is alright with all of those messages she getting and stuff like that. Hopefully, the spirits are helping her, and you know, it's just a crazy situation. But thank you for sitting here watching this foolishness with me. Like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.